Ambassador Ross, you're just back from Israel and Jordan before, of course, this ceasefire was put in effect or at least announced. What did you find the sentiment to be there about the attacks by Israel on Iran? What the goal was? Was there some unity of agreement, some sense of this will be the final outcome, or some interim measure, at least to put Iran back on its heels?
I sometimes joke that 80% of Israelis can't agree on whether it's day or night. But I can tell you that 80% of Israelis agreed this was the right thing to do. This is not a pro-Bibi, anti-Bibi issue. It's not a left, right, center issue. The entire political opposition, the head of every opposition party, was supportive of this because there's a collective consensus in Israel that Iran with a nuclear weapon is an existential threat. So, A, there's a profound consensus. B, I was struck by the kind of stoicism of the Israeli public. We were, every night we were in the middle of the night, we were going into bomb shelters. And there was a kind of, I won't say nonchalance, but there was a matter of factism about going in there. When you're awakened at 3 a.m, nobody's particularly happy. But the truth is there was a kind of, okay, this is what has to happen. So there was this kind of acceptance of this, that this goes with the territory. I would say something that, by the way, Nasrallah, Sinwar, and Khamenei never understood. Israelis can be bitterly critical of their government, and they have been bitterly critical. And I would say 70% have been bitterly critical of this government, don't trust this government. And yet, this was read as a sign of weakness, and it didn't reflect an understanding of Israel. A, there was a grassroots democratic movement, but B, there is a profound, deep civic culture of community. Israelis will do things not for the government, they'll do things for each other. And just like in the units, a lot of these reservists, they'll go in, they're not happy to respond to this government, but they'll respond because of their colleagues in the unit. And that's something that just wasn't understood, I think, by Nasrallah and company, because they don't have that kind of a culture. So they couldn't relate to it. So there is, I think, a kind of general consensus. This is something that has to happen.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Dennis Ross. We will have programs coming up, the usual Wednesday program and more programs next week for you to follow. Mayor Karen Bass on July 2nd. And all through the summer, we're going to be catching up and keeping up with what's going on. Thank you for your eyes and your ears and your support of this program. You can see a link on how you can support it further. I'm Pat Morrison, and I thank you very much for giving us this part of your evening.